Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Dsvg again. This is the second time we're facing them this season, and we lost the first time, so hopefully we get a win. And they banned Herc, Torch, and Scorp. So I'm going to go over my first few fights kind of briefly. It's Path 5 and then 6. I have Doom, Havoc, and Kitty are my first 3 fights. And the plan here basically is to try to ramp up Professor X for the boss. This defense did a really good job of trying to limit myself from getting charged up, but I have max recoil on here, and the plan is just to parry heavy, wait out his aura if it's there, and just launch my SB3 when the Fury's up, and then just SB3 spam. The next fight's going to be Havoc versus Omega Sentinel, and basically I'm just going to throw my SB2 as I can to get the knockdown, and then pause the plasmas as they're on him. And the next fight after that is Kitty, and the plan there basically is just to keep a cowardice on her and just beat her down. And I'm running a full suicide tree on the Havoc and the Kitty fight just for more damage. Now, the Mystic Spidey fight is on a disorient and prowess unblockable type of node in section 2. I'm gonna go over that real quick because spoiler alert, I do die, and I did some duels over and over, lots of duels, and the one thing that couldn't happen is I couldn't intercept him before my vigilance was up. And you'll see what happens. Like I end up getting cornered, and lots of things could have gone differently. I almost pulled it out, but ultimately what I wanted to talk about was deaths in Alliance War, and this is a very close war. Even as I was taking the boss, it was, we were losing, but we hadn't died, more than twice at the point, and I needed to take the final boss for us. So, part of the journey of Alliance War that I find the most engaging is your interactions with your battle group and how you plan and how you learn your members and what they can and can't do. And certain fights are more dangerous than others, and often you see people comment or say something about, like, why did you guys do this, or why don't you guys send that? And that's because the map doesn't allow. You look at the map and you identify fights that are that multiple members in your VG can handle, and then some fights that are a bit more complex, and you want a hard counter and the right member that has experience on that fight taking it. And then you kind of work around that, and sometimes you end up with more fights or less. It doesn't matter, who the person is in the battle group. At least that's how we plan in BG3. We're trying to just make it as easy as possible for the entire battle group to clear with the least amount of deaths possible. So, with that being said, it's enjoyable for me, especially as I plan with my other officers, to break down fights and fight strategy and have everybody learn and grow and see what works and what doesn't. And we all hate to die in war, and it feels horrible. I think DLL posted a video about how just dying sucks, and just you dwell on it and stuff like that. But the important thing you got to think about is that it's not the end of the world. We do play this game with our friends in our alliance, and we do enjoy that aspect of it. We all want to win, we all want to do well, but you just got to go back to the drawing board. Never lose, win or learn is what I like to say. And I definitely learned a few things from my fight with Mystic Spidey. You'll see that I get cornered and stuff. I could have done a few things differently. I could have not had recoil on, first of all. That probably would have saved me, since the rotation itself would have killed Mystic Spidey. I could have also just gone with a parry heavy to start, since I was going to dance around the falter timer anyways and kill time. It would have also killed the disorient on me, and that would have taken care of the vigilance, make sure that it was up for the fight. But ultimately, things just can go south in war, and it is what it is, Or maybe Andrew was mad that I didn't give him a lot of fights, even though he helps plan too. So he hacked my phone and caused Spidey to be uber aggressive and kill me. I think it's Andrew's fault. But here we have the Kitty fight now as we approach the Mystic Spidey fight. And here I'm just the basic Kitty Omega Sentinel fight. I like her because she can do quite a lot. I know Nimrod can do a bunch of fights as well for mutants, but the synergy with Omega Sentinel and Professor X means I only have to take 2 fights with Professor X, and I'm at 4 charges. So here I'm basically just trying to keep my cowardice up so she can't gain any more prowess as I parry. I'm going to take these hits on the block, and I'm just, you know, when Omega Sentinel is running full recoil and she's boosted, she just hits like a truck with her basic attacks. So here I'm going to throw this SB2 and land some incinerate or plasmas on her, and then pause them, but she's dead. So we get to the next fight now, and it's going to be now here at this point. I took off bleed and poison, and I left 3 points in recoil. And the plan basically was to dance around my first falter and get a falter heavy, so I can charge it for a longer time and build my mind control charges. And I power start 1, so I can get to an SB3 as soon as possible. Now, the goal basically is to do that twice, and I did it in duels over and over. And I thought about parrying once, but I was like, man, if I happen to get cornered and that disorients on me, I'm just gonna take a bunch of block damage. But ultimately, what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want to accidentally intercept. So you'll see here that the fight starts, and I dash back, and he's coming at me, and right there he comes at me again, and I lose like half of my health, not counting adrenaline. And I'm in this corner, and I'm like, oh great. So I need to hit his block and push him back, and I still don't have my vigilance. So I'm just like, I want to bait this SB1 now. But I'm losing space here, and I'm like, okay, he throws this, take 2 on the block, and I deck the last one, and I'm like, okay, heavy charge, I have my vigilance up now. And here's where I should have been more patient. I should have kept hitting his block until he was in his corner, but I wanted to bait another special, and I eat it in the face, and I'm like, oh man, well, I'm at 50 charges. So at this point, I go for the SB2, hoping it pushes me back to an SB3, and I'm at 10% and recoil kills me. So extremely frustrated about that, and there goes my deathless season. But more importantly, I gave up another death in a very, very close war. So I have to go back in here. I'm taking the spot boss after this, and at this point I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna parry, and I'm gonna get my my vigilance up. I'm just gonna play this slowly. I'm gonna hit his block. It's doing damage. He's almost dead, so I'm just like, you know what, just hit his block at this point, and I don't wanna mess up, so he dies. Ultimately, not what how I wanted to end that fight, but you live and you learn. Like I said, I have various other strategies that I could have applied there if I happen to see him again, and I know Mystic Spidey a whole lot better now, because I did dive into his mechanics before and after that death. But here we have Spot, and the plan basically is to power start 1 and heavy counter to build my charges, and once I get to 100, once I'm at an SB3, throw it, ideally with a heavy charge so I can get an extra prowess, but not needed if it's not, if it's not available. So here I heavy counter, and I'm like, all right, perfect, fine. And the thing with Spot is, like, sometimes I just dash forward to get spacing because I don't want to get too cornered, and that's why I got that extra hit right there. But I'm watching his Spot charges, and he's still at 0, and I'm like, oh great, I get an extra heavy right there, and I hit into him just so he doesn't come at me completely. Now he hits into my my block here. This is all feeding me power, and I do that just so I can counter his special and remove a Spot charge if possible. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I don't land that heavy, but I have my falter up. So at this point, I'm in the corner. He's under a bar, and I'm like, great, I can heavy charge into my SB3 and be at 100, and that's all she wrote for the boss. So just a quick war, 5 fights, and I just kind of wanted to go over the thought process behind dying and the actual engagement or fun, I should say, of being in an alliance war with your battle group. And I love everybody in my battle group. I love everybody in For Loki. Everybody's great, Each battle group is different. You know, us officers all, you know, each plan in each battle group, then we share with everybody in officer chat to review. And each BG has their own way of attacking, you know, similar fights, and with different attackers, and I absolutely love that, because there's a lot of fights that I would never have considered and are great options, and we adopt that from BG to BG and see what we can grow and learn. But that's ultimately why we play this game, to grow and learn. So this spot boss goes down, and you see, just finished my run. I'm not feeling too hot, so I'm a right sad panda right here, because dying just is never fun. But ultimately, let's look at the final stats and see how the war played out. As you can see, we did pull off the victory. We were down 0-3 after my death, with basically all our fights done. They had about 20 fights left this morning, and they died twice to a 55 spam with Ghost, which made it 2-3. Then they died to an iDoom with CGR. It made it 3-3, but they're ahead on time. And I thought that my Mystic Spidey death was just going to do us in with another loss with a tie, but luckily for us, they died to a Quicksilver boss. Unlucky for them. So we ended up getting the win. Shout out to Karate Mike, PWF, and Shrimp, who was actually in Dsvg for a long time, but now he's with us. So shout out to all the MVPs, and GG's to Dsvg, and see you guys in the next one.